man. I'm feeling the vibe tonight. My goodness. Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital. Survivor post-game show number 2. Baby. Number 1 went pretty well, Boy Green. Let's roll right into number 2. Bret LaBelle is back with us again. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by our friends at Box Drop Syracuse, the mattress and sofa outlet. And Bret, never to miss a show, on location tonight at some party in Boston. I'll let him spill the details on this. Bret, welcome to the post-game show. How are you, sir?
What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm here. I'm at the Bryson Wendell Survivor Party at the Greatest Bar. I'm going to show it to everyone right now. There it is.
Nice.
We're at 262 Friend Street in Boston, right downtown. If someone grabs my phone and I start running down the street, you guys will know I'm chasing them, trying to get it back. But we also have the Survivor Cafe. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on.
Yeah.
And it's actually really cool. Boy Green, you'd love it. They got all kinds of Survivor stuff, and all the drinks are Survivor related in the food, so it's really cool.
I was going to say that they have that Fijian pizza, though, that you dislike so much. You said you described it in the past. Tastes like cardboard. Is there any Fijian pizza out there?
No, they know if that was here, I'd wreck the place. So they didn't have any of it, you know.
And a close call for you guys. So for those who don't know, we uploaded it already on our YouTube channel about our Survivor Fantasy Draft. So I'll throw it up here so everyone can see what our picks were. And you'll see there for old Bret that we had Sophie was one of his fantasy draft picks. It was looking a little dicey tonight, Bret. I know you and Manchild were fighting over Sophie in the fantasy draft. So that was a close call there tonight, huh?
Well, I blame you, Boy Green, for not figuring out Sophie I against Sophie E, but that's fine. I did talk to Sophie. She's actually in the bar right now. I'm going to go yell at her in about a minute because I'm like, you really, scared me tonight, and I'm very upset. But yeah, I was nervous because I couldn't see. I started to watch. I go, no, there's no way she's going home. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't really see an out for her right now. So I thought she was done, but the edit tricked me. The edit tricked me tonight.
That's amazing. You can be in 2 places at one time. I mean, she's out there in Fiji, competing on Survivor, and then there she is. She's in a bar in Boston. I don't know how they pulled this stuff off,
Editing.
For those that don't know, the season was already filmed. Let me ask you that. That's a great question because here you are. You're at kind of a quasi-Survivor party with current cast members, former cast members, some of your buddies. Let me ask you this, Bret. I mean, to talk to me about the code of silence, because here's Sophie. She's in a bar. She can't tell you how she finished. She can't tell you if she made it to the final. She can't tell you if she won $1 million. Tell me about that code with Survivors. You were in it. You made it all the way to the final 4. How real is that? How crazy is that? What kind of consequences are there? Take us inside.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, you signed your life away. It's they make it. Survivor makes it extremely clear that if you say anything, they're going to come after you, and they have tons of lawyers, and you sign your life away. So you're not saying anything. Mostly, Kevin, good to see you, pal.
What's up, Kevin?
I will. It's Kevin from Big Brother.
Kevin!
There he goes.
Wow.
Kevin,
I love Big Brother.
Yeah, shoe labor. Great guy. Crazy guy. Fun. Wearing a crazy suit tonight, I will say.
And they're doing, by the way, Bret, since you mentioned Big Brother, they're doing an all Big Brother amazing race this season, which is on television literally as we speak.
Hold on, Kevin!
We're just going to try and get Kevin on.
Yeah,
great. You got to see this suit. Well, you got to see this suit. Hold on,
let's go full screen here.
Kevin,
all right. Kevin's got some kind of crazy suit.
Look at this suit. Look at
Kevin's suit.
Look at that suit, Kevin.
Looking nice.
Wow, that's terrific. Yeah, great suit.
He's the best. Anyway, my point is, you can't say anything, and you don't. And because if you do, if you're a winner or if you're a runner-up, you're not going to get any cash. You
won't get paid.
Which, by the way, Bret, as a Survivor nerd, has anyone ever spilled the beans on something? I can't think of anybody.
Yeah.
Who? Yeah, what happened?
Early on the seasons, I think if you look back, you can find some stories on it. And they did go after a couple people, so.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. You don't want to get in legal trouble with
of course not.
A big entity like CBS.
And I wouldn't, I wouldn't put them in that position either, so I don't ask questions. I'm just nice, take pictures, and that's it.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about tonight's episode because this is the post-game show, so let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Sophie did not go home. Instead, it was the low-hanging fruit, Annie, who was so confident. It's never good to be confident on the island, Bret, and she was overconfident, and it got her. She certainly never saw it coming.
No, I think she was completely shocked, and now I'm starting to think that Matt, right? I think he said something. I think he went in and told her that just to put her at ease, So.
Oh, which would make a lot of sense. What about those annoying things? So for Annie, she annoyed a lot of people for being bossy on the island, but there was we had Juwan who went through someone's bag. That seemed to annoy people. So different things annoy different people, and it doesn't take much, Brett, to put you on the block. Especially, I think we're all looking for excuses. I haven't even been on the island before. I'm saying we. I imagine all you guys out on the island are just looking for an excuse to throw someone under the bus and make it an easier vote for you guys.
Yeah, that's why Jake's playing with fire with those shoes. Hide and sneak. It's like if he gets caught, he would have been the one going home tonight. I don't even care. Like he's in great shape and everything, but it disgusts a lot of people when they go through your stuff. You don't have a lot of privacy out there, and when somebody starts messing with that, people go a little crazy. So yeah,
What's your prediction, Brett? So obviously they're sort of picking up on, all right, that's like the second or third time shoes have been put in a weird spot. Do you think Jake hears the warning sign and goes, okay, enough, it's too dangerous now, I got to stop being the shoe bandit? Or does he keep pushing the envelope and keep doing it? What's your prediction?
No, he's going to keep doing it. And it's really interesting because they're definitely talking about it. You don't just, by the time the second shoe gets misplaced, they know something's up. So everyone's talking about it. If he gets caught, I think it's really foolish now if he continues this, because if he gets caught, it's going to screw him. The thing is, though, he's in such good shape and they're losing. I don't know if they can really afford to get rid of him, the shoe bandit, Jake, until after the merge,
Because they're so weak. That tribe is so weak. And then you look at the other side, and it was really, really displayed in the challenge, having to wear 20 pounds of coconuts on their backs, having to go through 10 keys to open a lock
instead of one.
Still, Hema wins the immunity challenge. They are just a good team, Brett. You've seen that in prior seasons. What is it about these guys that makes them a good team?
They all get along. They're having fun out there. They're really working well together. I mean, and when you start winning, it definitely does something to your psyche. And I think it just helps you to continue winning. And once you take, and I can't remember the name of the tribe, but once you start losing, it gets very hard to get out of that rut, because you're just like, oh, we're just going to lose. We're just going to lose. And we've seen it time and time again, guys. We've talked about this 1,000 times. When you lose one or two challenges, then it seems like you just keep losing,
Yeah, that's Kella, by the way, that tribe you're talking about.
Kella,
that keeps losing. And that's what I wanted to follow up with, because you mentioned the winning, that it's sort of like a vibe. You keep winning, you're like, wow, we can't do wrong. Things are just falling into our lap. And on that other side, when you're losing, that's sort of what Sophie was indicating after that, man, we're just in a rut. And then when things started to go wrong, people just assume, unfortunately, when we mix in sports and my football team, when things start to go wrong, they're just like, geez, here we go, same old thing. It's about to happen again. What is that? Why does that happen? And quite frankly, how do you break it? Kella's 0 for 5 in any of these challenges/journey opportunities, or 0 for 5. How do you just break the drought and start to flip the switch?
I would say it's like sports. You need a leader, we had, when I was playing, we had Chris Hammonds, the crazy person, but a great leader. I mean, you need somebody to kind of pull everyone. Come on, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And you don't want to let that person down. If you don't have someone doing that, I don't feel like Jake looks like a leader, but he's not. Matt could be a leader, but he's not. They got nobody pulling each other together. You guys are a sports channel. I think it's very similar to that.
Yeah, the puzzle. I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, man, Kella had a big lead, okay? And they were given, they were not, they could have put the coconuts on them. They're the weakest tribe. Why not just put it on them? The tribe goes the other way, tries to get the strongest team weakened. They still end up winning the challenge. But they're just looking at that puzzle. How do you go out on Survivor? And listen, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and we're all not meant to do puzzles. But you got to practice the craft. You got to be at least efficient. They're just staring at that puzzle. They weren't even moving pieces around. I was like, this is an embarrassment. That was awful.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, it's funny when they pan back and you see a shot of both of them, and it's like it was like a pile of whatever right there. It was like, wow, they didn't get anything. So look at puzzles. People get in their head. It's like you just got to start putting it together. We did a snake puzzle, and I'm doing it with Zeke and I think Sunday. and we actually won it. But I started to look at it, and I started to realize that I was like, we're looking at pieces, and it's like we should be looking at the paint job on the pieces, because if you look at the paint job on the pieces, you'll notice you'll start to go, okay, I need this. Certain patterns continue on. So there's always a little trick to these puzzles, and you have to just kind of look for them. But if you get you can easily get frazzled, and then your mind's gone, and you're not going to go anywhere, which is what happened tonight.
This is the post-game show, so we can play Monday morning quarterback, and it's a lot easier for us to say it now. But like Juwan's decision, do we strap up on the stronger team there, or do we go after the weak team in Kella and just go after them a little bit harder? Why wouldn't you go after the weaker team? And he says, I want to do them a solid because they're already down. That seems like the team you take advantage of if you're sort of being ruthless about it, and then ensure your own self-preservation.
Yeah, I mean, it is Survivor, right? Like, I'm the same way. Like you want to keep that person down. You want to make sure that you're the winning team. And,
right.
You cannot think about them. After the merge, or if they have a tribe swap, now you worry about those people. But right now, you need to just make sure you get further in the game,
One of the things we saw tonight, Brett, I thought we saw a pretty fair amount of camp life. We've talked about this over the years as well. Give us more camp life, give us more stuff. And I felt like we got that tonight. And a lot of alliances being formed. So even though a lot of tribes have not gone to tribal, we saw Rizzo's tribe, put some alliances together. Kina with Steve, Christina, and Matt, and MC perhaps, although she seems to be on the outs and scheming a little bit on her own. But we saw some people finally getting in alliances, and we're starting to see where the battle lines are being drawn. Did you like the camp life situation tonight, and how'd you like the alliances that got started here?
You guys know I love camp. Anytime we get more camp life, I love it. I thought it was really good. You always want to know what's going on behind the scenes, because like tonight, we didn't know a lot going. Like, I did not expect Andy to go home. Now, I think we missed a lot. We weren't shown a lot because I didn't. From what I was very nervous with Sophie tonight. And then all of a sudden, boom, it was Annie, who, by the way, is playing. She's got a band, and they've been playing at the Bryce and Wendell event all night.
Okay, give it to us honestly.
Yeah, give us a review.
She was good or terrible?
How is she?
No, really good, really good. Rock band, they were great. Yeah, really, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Now, she front person or is she playing an instrument? What did
she was a singer. She's jumping around on the stage.
She's got to be the
she's a riot.
Person.
Yeah, she's a riot. Very. It was they're good. They're a good band. So I'm actually shocked that she went home. I'm like, if I was going home tonight, I wouldn't be here playing, music.
I always kid around about the Tom Hanks scene in A League of Their Own. There's no crying in baseball. And there wasn't any crying tonight, but there was a lot of whining about, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, we don't have fire. These people have been out there for like 4 or 5 days. We've talked about this endlessly over the years. They don't even do the 39 days anymore. They do the abbreviated season.
26.
And they're already whining about food. Brett, come on, what's your reaction to that? You must be
He was eating worms. What's he whining about? He had worms. They looked fantastic. So I don't know why he was complaining. He wasn't hungry. He had like 5 worms, I saw. He must have been full, So, no, look, you're always hungry out there. There's nothing you can eat. There's nothing you do. Like, after the, 5th day, you're always starving. So, but you just drink a lot of water, get it out of your head, and don't think about it.
And Brett, I got to be honest here. You give off the vibe. We've never met you in person yet. That's got to happen. So we're going to make that happen one of these times. We've been close to each other before.
We'll get over there.
And you come off to me that you're very hip. You're very in, Brett. You're in with everybody. And one of your picks, Nate, we were talking about tribe life. He was getting in on all the words: vibe, fire, cinema. Aura,
I like that.
Chillin', Riz. And he says, I'm just trying to use these words, even though, and he even compared it back in his day. He said, I used to use the word rad, and the older people probably said, that's stupid. And he said, now here I am. So, Brett, are you in the vibe? Are you feeling the cinema? Are you getting the aura?
Oh, yeah.
Are you chilling?
Oh, yeah.
What's going on there?
I love that scene. Because for older guys like me, when you're on the show, they use these crazy words. But no, I love that scene. I really like him. I think he's playing it very well, and I believe I have him, so I'm very excited about that.
Yes.
So,
yeah, as you should.
A couple of funny things came out tonight that I thought were entertaining. I'd like to discuss. Sage telling her story about wanting to be a mascot and then ending up as the Easter Bunny. Do you believe in the Easter Bunny, first of all, Brett? And what'd you think of the story?
Of course. I love Cadbury eggs, and I love it when the Easter Bunny leaves them under my pillow. But no, I thought that was funny. I mean, I love camp life. I like all these stories. I like to hear about everyone's life. So Yeah, I did enjoy it. Because I remember being when we're on some of the best times, some of the biggest laughs I had on Survivor was at around the fire, just having a good old time, and so I always enjoy watching that.
All right, Brett, we talked about it earlier that there was some earthworms being eaten out there. I have to ask you, what's some of the weirdest stuff that either you were forced to or for fun? Because we've seen that in past Survivor seasons. It's almost like a truth or dare, and they're all trying weird stuff just for the fun of it. And, there's a lot of boring times, I imagine, when you guys are just sitting around. What's some of the weirdest stuff you ever ate on Survivor?
Sea urchin. Chris Hammond's read somewhere that you could eat sea urchins, so we went and collected a bunch of sea urchins, and we tried to cook them up. It was horrible. Yeah, it's disgusting.
All right, which one's better, sea urchins or the Fijian pizza?
Gee, let me think about that. The Fijian, the Fijian pizza is it's cardboard with tomato sauce slapped on it. I don't even think they had cheese. It's so bad. And I love how they make these people act like they enjoy it. And you will see it. We will see it this season. They will take somebody to the sanctuary. They will eat pizza. And they'll smile and say how great it is. And we all know it's not. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's
as soon as they get off camera, they're like, oh, this is the worst pizza ever. Not New York pizza, We're talking with Bret LaBelle, our Survivor insider. He's live in Boston. He's at a Survivor party tonight. It is our post-game show after episode 2 of season 49. Tonight's sponsor is our friends at Box Drop Syracuse Sofa and Mattress. I know they don't get mattresses out there. They're sleeping on bamboo. They're sleeping on sand. But let's see what it's like to sleep on one of those mattresses with our friends at Box Drop.
Considering that we sleep nearly 1/3 of our lives, buying the right mattress is essential. At Box Drop Syracuse Mattress and Sofa Outlet, you'll get a unique experience, one that saves you 30 to 70% off retail prices on top-of-the-line mattresses like Sapphire Sleep. At Box Drop, you'll schedule a mattress fitting appointment and get one-on-one service directly with Paul, the owner. No middleman. Family-owned, huge savings, no-pressure sales designed to save you time and money. And now Box Drop Syracuse has sectional sofas and love seats as well, with prices designed to fit your budget. Box Drop Syracuse Mattress and Sofas. Set up your appointment today at boxdropsyracuse.com.
All right, we're back. Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital at MC Show Digital on YouTube. Please like our video and also click the subscribe button. We'd love for you to be part of our little community that we've been building over the last couple of months. We're talking Survivor with Bret LaBelle, post-game show. Brett, we did see a Beware advantage come into play tonight. Very fascinating. The ball and chain, getting the small box. Sophie trying to hide the box. Kind of an interesting dilemma there. In the end, Alex does end up getting his idol. So let's talk about the process. And do you like, the Beware advantage? I know we've talked over the years about sometimes you don't like too many idols in play. Do you like the Beware advantage in particular?
Well, this one I liked because I liked how they did it, right? I thought that the cannonball was cool. They had this cannonball. They had to run through the woods, try to hide it. And then I love when Sophie's going to try and take it for herself. And I wish that had happened because that would have been great TV. But no, I enjoyed this one. Now, there will be something this season that will drive me mental. It is not this. I like how they did it. They made it. I like it when they make it hard. You don't want to make it easy for someone. They made it a little hard with that, like he's running around like, Scrooge and Marley with the chains all over him, trying to get the key to the box. I thought that was funny. So.
Well, let's get your temperature on something else, right? So we had another one of these journeys, but instead we had a challenge that was in between Jake, Matt, and Jawan, and it was a coconut basket challenge where 3 baskets are there, 2 first baskets to fall. They head out, and they don't think that they lost their vote. And that's in a lot of these situations where the vote is immediately lost. In this particular case, we had Jawan win, and he got to pick whether something selfish or something for the team.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
The thing that I'm curious about, Brett, is not even any of that. When Jawan goes back, regardless of what he chose, do you tell the truth? Do you try to come up with a lie? What's the best thing to do in those situations? Because, again, sometimes you can just lie and make up a story, or you just try to tell the truth. And maybe if you tell the truth, they don't even believe it anyway. So how do you ride that line, Brett?
I mean, you got to be able to tell a lie. Because I like how he did it. I think it worked out. He's here tonight also. Because it worked out for him. But, man, sometimes you'll even tell the truth. Like we've seen it in the past where someone tells the truth because they missed something and people don't believe them. So it's like If you're going to lie about that, you better be a really good liar. You better know what you're doing. You know,
Given the choice, Brett, you're out there and you got to make that decision. Help yourself, help the tribe. Which one are you going to do?
man, I think
A vote,
early on like
steal a
that, I think he
vote.
made the right choice. I think he made the right choice. He
Yeah.
was kind of on the. Here's why. I don't feel like he was on the. I don't think he's at the top of the pack with them.
No.
I think he made. I think he did a lot of. I think he did a lot of justice for himself by doing that. It just really depends. If you're somebody that's, you know you're good, then I say you take it for yourself, you use it for later. But when you're somebody where you're kind of like, I'm not sure everyone here loves me, I think he's made a good move.
And how about the bros, Jake and Alex? Double handstands in the water. These guys have got it all going on, baby.
That's weird. Yeah.
Very strange. But it was fun to watch, so.
Very strange.
We
very
really
weird.
bro out. It is really, really crazy the way that they bro out.
It's going to get funnier. I'm telling you, this guy Jake is going to crack us up for the rest of the season.
Okay, we can only hope that he continues to last. And Annie wanted his head on a pike, so she's gone. So hopefully Jake lasts a little bit longer here, a little bit longer.
Well,
indeed.
I think Matt's going to use him as a meat shield through this whole game. So.
Yeah.
Listen, over the years, Brett, we've seen tribes that do, dare I say, relaxing things on the beach and so on and so forth. I mean, I'm calling Uli the meditators because they go down to that beach and they do some crazy meditation. And I forget who's leading that charge. There's Savannah. I can't remember.
Yeah, Savannah, I believe.
Savannah,
yes,
leading that charge. I mean, is that good for the soul when you're out there? You're hungry, you're thirsty, and you do that kind of stuff. Does it really help? We've seen people do yoga. We've seen people do meditation. Is it good? Did you ever get in on it?
You look at you. So bored out there. Any of that stuff is good. I mean, we painted coconuts with like bocce balls and played. I mean, like anything like that you can do. That you can, it's great. Actually, Shannon's father owns this bar, the Grizz bar.
Oh,
She's
nice.
here too.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, no, like I love that stuff. And you'll do stuff that you would never do at home just because you're bored and you're like, well, screw it. What else am I going to do out here?
Yeah, let me ask you this. I mean, look, when I was back in my days in Queens, New York, where I grew up, on summer nights, warm summer nights, we'd get together, we'd play kick the can, ring alivio, hide and seek. I've never seen that on Survivor. I've never seen a tribe play a game against each other, compete. Are you allowed to do that? Has that ever happened? Maybe we've just never filmed it.
Yeah, no, they'll film it, but a lot of times it won't make air,
Okay.
So are you the king of Queens, Lurch?
Yes, I was the king of Queens back then. Yes, back then I was.
Okay,
yeah.
that's really cool.
I'm no longer the king of Queens. Now I'm the king of Syracuse, but I was the king of Queens back then.
No, I mean, like, they'll tape a lot of that stuff. Some of it they won't put on for whatever reason. They only have so much time, so.
And I want to get one more in here, Brett, and it's Shannon. I imagine when you guys go out there, again, different people probably embrace this in different ways, that Shannon goes out there and when they captured a crab, Savannah captured the crab, they said, like, let's say a prayer real quick for the, the crab spirit that's about to go beyond. Some people, I imagine, would just roll their eyes, but, it sort of sometimes when you're on the island, you just sort of go with the flow. Yeah. How do you sort of balance that? Because there's all kinds of things that could go crazy to politics or anything crazy like that to crab spirits. How do you balance all that?
Well, because look, let's face it. Okay, you have all different kinds of people out there.
Yeah,
we have all different kinds of people watching the show.
Right.
You have to show some. It's like when you watch these Alaska shows, right? They shoot the deer, and they go over the deer, and they're like, "Thank you for giving us." Like, they think the deer but they're showing the people, like that. We really respect it, but we need to eat. So that's what they're doing. They're trying to show respect for the death of the animal. I did not ever see a crab that size out there ever, and we saw a lot of crabs. Oh, huge! We would have eaten that immediately. Like that thing was unbelievable. We did get some crabs, but they were never that big. That was unbelievable. So
yeah, and we have seen debates over the years, Brett, with the chickens. No chickens yet in this season, but we might see chickens at some point. Some people want to free range the chickens, not eat the chickens, let them be pets. Other people, they start getting hungry, they start looking at those chickens. Where do you stand on on eating and the chain of the chain of life, so to speak, the circle of life?
Look, the chickens are going to be a bigger debate because there's going to be someone on that tribe that thinks they look cute, that got attached to them, that pet them every morning. That's a harder debate than a crab, Okay. And they did the smart thing. They found the crab, they ran it right to the pot. Get it in there, don't let anyone see it, and stop boiling it before anyone can think twice, So.
And in that chicken situation, what do? Democracy and everyone votes? Does someone just sort of take command and say, yeah, we're killing the chicken, so you guys either hop on the train or get off? What's the best way to approach
normally
it?
There's one person that just says, yeah, no, and they do what needs to be done, and then the other person cries and says, I don't think I wanted this. Yeah. But, I mean, if you sit there and discuss it, the chicken's going to live, and you're never going to eat. So.
Yeah, I'm going to tell a little backstory before you leave, Brett, and then we'll let you go. But as you know, just a couple of days ago, we did our Survivor draft. Okay, we did the fantasy draft. You won last season, so you got to decide where you were going to pick, and you also assigned us our picks. Now we do a snake draft where you go 1, 2, 3, and then 3, 2, 1, and then 1, 2, 3. That's the way it works. You ended up taking the 3 spot. Where you got back-to-back picks at 3 and 4. You gave me the number 1 spot, and Boy Green was sitting in the middle of 2. Now, we were recording this because it was during the daytime, right? We caught you while you were still at the office, but we squeezed it in so we could get it in before tonight's episode. And so we recorded and we pick our people, and we discover amongst it, all right, that accidentally you and I picked the same Sophie. There's 2 Sophies. Right. I thought you were picking one. You thought I was picking the other, whatever it was. But you picked Sophie B first. I picked her again, but I didn't know it was Sophie B that I was picking. And then we realized before we finished out the picks, oh, my goodness, we picked the same person.
We got to redo this.
We got to redo the draft. So first I volunteer and I say, you know what? How about I'll just take this other person instead of Sophie, and we'll just redo it that way. And then Boy Green jumps in and goes, no, let's just do it fresh. And blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, we had revealed our picks. Okay, we had revealed who we were picking when, and I made the pick of Rizzo in the 6th spot. Boy Green picked second. He picked 5th. He had 2 swings at Rizzo. He did not take Rizzo. I took Rizzo in the 6th spot in our first recording. Now, we decided we're going to retake the whole thing, and in recording 2, we get to pick 5, where Boy Green is 1 spot in front of me, and he goes, I'll take Rizzo. And I was like, what? Now, I had barely a reaction. If you go back and watch it, folks, because it's on our YouTube channel, you'll see I'm kind of like glaring at him a little bit like, are you kidding me? You just took my guy. Got to rethink this whole thing. And it was because he had prior knowledge. So I am claiming right now, Brett, to all the public, to the entire world, to anyone that watches this, total tainted. If Rizzo wins and Boy Green wins, I will not recognize it as him being champion. I'm putting it on the line right now, Brett. I think you should agree with me. Let's put a stamp of approval on this. Let's not get him away. Let him get away with this stuff.
No, that was that's what we call a sleazebag move here in Boston. And I'll say this right now, Lurch. I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. Okay. Like, and Boy Green, I'm sorry, buddy. But that was a sleazebag move. And what could I do? I had to stay on the sidelines and just let it happen. There was nothing I could do. I was here in Boston. You guys are in Syracuse. There was nothing I could do, Lurch. Nothing I could do.
I know. I don't blame you at all, Brett. You're innocent in this whole thing. But I'm just going on the record so that if he ends up winning, then I got to, there'll be a
my integrity, Lurch, is still intact. I can't say much for Boy Green.
I still don't think Rizzo's going to win anyway, so I'm not that worried about it. But it's still tainted.
So here's the 2 things here. First off, we're like, oh man, how can Annie be out on the island in Fiji and then be at the bar? You're telling me, wait a second, there was a different episode than what existed? I don't even know what you're talking about. I was only in 1 fantasy draft, and I picked Rizzo. That's all I remember.
See you guys.
So if folks don't know Boy Green, he's very devious in this way. I've known this for years. I shouldn't have opened my big mouth and
you revealed your draft board.
I had to reveal my picks because we were making picks, but I said too much. I said I said I would never take Jake, and he had taken Jake in the 5, and he's like, well, if Lurch, there's no way he's going to take Jake, then I could steal Rizzo and then get Jake at 7, and that's exactly what he did. I was like, you dog. Or 8. He got him in the 8th spot. Anyway,
we still never know what's going to happen, so we'll have to watch.
But as usual, we're through now. Another episode through our first episode after our draft. None of our people have been voted off, so we did very, very well. We usually do very well in the seasons. We had all Final Fours of last season. All of them were owned by one of us. As it turned out, Brett ended up winning. I had 2 people in the Final Four and didn't win. But so far, so good. Nobody has been eliminated. We'll keep you posted on our little Survivor draft, and you can always go look at that little draft reveal. It's a little 10-minute video, super easy to check it out, and then you'll see that look I gave, that glare I give to Boy Green when he takes Rizzo, and I'm like, you dog, what are you doing to me?
Well, Brett, we want to thank you. You're out on the town, and thanks for
enjoy the rest of your
night with us. Enjoy it, pal.
Yes, pal.
Always a pleasure, guys, and I will see you next week, and we'll see what happens. And Lurch, I don't know, man. It is what it is. We'll have to live with it now, So
we'll have to live with it. It's okay. I can live with it. I'm used to this. I'm used to this with him, Brett. That's the problem. I'm used to it.
Thanks, Brett.
All right, Brett, we're going to say goodbye to you. We'll wrap up the show on our own. Have a great night, buddy. All right, enjoy Boston.
You too, guys.
Say hello to all those Survivor cast members. Make sure you tell the ones that I have on my draft that I want them to win. Okay, that's all. They better win. They better win.
I'm going in to do that right now, Lurch. Take care, bud.
Tell Matt. He's my man. Matt's my man. He's my man. Matt, the dreadlock guy, man. I like that guy. He's my dude right there. All right, so that's going to be cool. All right, so we got that draft to expose. All right, so how about some final thoughts, Boy Green, on the episode tonight? I mean, I liked episode 1 a little better than episode 2. You know, I just felt like there was a little bit more meat on the bone, but I still enjoyed tonight's episode, and I am enjoying this cast of characters. How are you liking it so far?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, you know, because, and I think we may have even discussed this with Brett off air before, that it's sort of weird. While Survivor seasons record back to back, there is obviously this anticipation for Survivor season 50. We know the full cast. We're excited about all these returning players. It's the first time we've had returning players since Winners at War. So there's this anticipation, which has sort of made season 49 an afterthought before we even saw the first 2 episodes of the last 2 weeks. So this has been completely overlooked, which has been sort of interesting as we're diving into this, giving all these post-game shows on a week-to-week basis. I think they have a really interesting cast, and now it gives me a little bit more credence because the only 2 castaways we don't know who are on Survivor 50 are 2 random people from the season. And the more I'm seeing the season, I'm trying to, in my mind, guess who is interesting enough that they decided to bring back immediately. Like, they have to be pretty compelling, I would imagine, to come back here. And, you know, at first I was like, damn, you picked 2 from season 49. This has got to be like the greatest season of all time. They'd be willing to pick 2 people from a season we haven't even seen yet, because they didn't even know the sort of temperature from the fans. We haven't reacted. We don't even know who any of these people are. So it was pretty ballsy by them to pick 2 from this cast. And I think a lot of people were upset about that because there are 2 other people that we know from all these previous seasons that would have been great fits. But there seems to be a lot of great characters on this. So maybe Survivor had it right the first time.
Yeah, and as we get into the season a little deeper, maybe we'll start to pontificate about who we think are the 2. I think we asked Brett during the first episode. I don't remember how he answered, but you know, maybe we get about halfway through. Maybe we got a better idea based on the characters who just kind of maybe makes sense, win, lose, or draw, makes sense that, you know, you want to see them again. You want to get back to them again. I mean, that's the beauty of Survivor. There really genuinely always are some characters that you're just like, I want more of that character. You know, I want to see what that character would do in a different group of people, you know, or maybe you want to give somebody a second chance in some sense, like, they got just put in a terrible tribe. And if they weren't, they would have been a really good contestant. Maybe we give them a second chance on the show. And sometimes that pays off. So I think that'll be interesting as the season goes on, Boy Green, to take a look at, you know, who we think might be those 2 remaining spots in season 50, which obviously is going to be a big season.
Yeah, now I know we're in a non-sports show right now with Survivor, which is cool. We do this every Wednesday night for people that are tuning in. We have a couple hundred people in the room right now. So if you're watching, no matter where you're watching, quite frankly, I will suggest that you hop on over to youtube.com/MCShowDigital, like the video, hit subscribe. And there's a good reason to hit subscribe because we're giving away free stuff continually here moving forward on all these mile markers for our YouTube show as it's growing, Glitch. So I don't know if you have it handy. To be able to show. So I'll
throw it up here.
Yeah, okay.
There's got to be, even amongst this Survivor crowd,
I would assume
there have to be golfers in the crowd. We're giving away a brand new driver. It is a Cleveland Highbore XL, beautiful driver right here. And it was donated by one of our longtime sponsors, Play It Again Sports. You might have a Play It Again right in your hometown if you don't live in the central New York area. Look, it is still in the wrapper. It is absolutely pristine. It has never been hit before. It is a $400 retail driver, and it's just going away to one of our subscribers once we hit our next landmark. So subscribe right now, and you're in the pool. No cost, no nothing. And you may be the one that gets that call from us that says, hey, guess what? You just won yourself a brand new golf club worth $400. So it's going to be going out the door sooner rather than later. So if you're going to subscribe, you want to do it soon. And we'll have other, as Boy Green said, other prizes coming down the pike as well. So join our little channel. We do these Survivor shows after every Survivor episode now. It's our new post-game show. Brett's going to be joining us every week. And Brett's going to be bringing on some of his friends, dare I say, some of the other former cast members, as he was talking about during the hit. He's at a party with all these people, with this season's caster at that party, along with other people. So Brett is very, very much in the loop of the Survivor community. I know he loves it. He's been a part of it ever since he's been on the show back in Millennials versus Gen X. And he's just a very insightful guy. We've enjoyed him. We had him, Boy Green and I, for those of you that have never been on our channel or never attended one of these post-game shows, we're only post-game show 2 here. Boy Green and I had a long, illustrious career in radio. I was in radio almost 25 years. I did television here in Central New York as well. Boy Green and I have been partners for about 8 years, and we've worked together for more like 9 or 12 years, maybe 9 or 10 years, I should say, together. And now we launched this YouTube channel. We do a lot of sports content. We cover New York sports teams, the Jets, the Giants, and the Bills. But we've always had a passion for Survivor, so we're going to stick to Survivor. We're going to be still be part of this Survivor community. We're going to continue to churn out Survivor content. And if you go into our YouTube channel, you'll see we have playlists for all of our content. So if you're a New York Giants fan, just go check out our Giants stuff. If you love the Bills, check out the Bills stuff. If you love the Jets, check out the Jets stuff. If you love Survivor, check out our Survivor playlist. So you don't have to do it all with us. We are very eclectic, but we also like to specialize in specific areas. And so if one of those specific areas is your cup of tea, then maybe it might be worth it for you to subscribe. That's your decision to make, of course. But again, it's youtube.com, as you see on the screen, /MC Show Digital. All right. Love to have you aboard.
Yeah, and I will just say this in closing, that if you're watching right now on a different portal, you're on Twitter right now, perhaps, hop on over. If you're on your phone, it's easy. Just jump over to the YouTube app and do it right now, and you'll have a chance to win free stuff. Not only that Cleveland driver that we just showed on the screen for 500 subscribers, we're going to have more giveaways. So as long as you stay subscribed, you'll be eligible for all of these giveaways, and you'll always have a chance to win the free prizes. So what's it? An extra subscription on YouTube? It's super easy to do, and it's free to do. So make sure you do it right now. If you're on your phone, open up the YouTube tab. If you're on your computer, it's easier. Just go over to a new tab, go to youtube.com @MC Show Digital, and make sure you hit subscribe, and you guys get great content and a chance to win free stuff. Great combo.
Yeah, and and also, if you want to jump into the comments, especially while we have Brett on, and when we have some of these former cast members, jump into the comments and ask questions. We'll bring them onto the screen for you, and you can almost literally interact directly with our special guests and with the hosts. So if you want to do that while we're doing, because these shows are all going to be live, these post games for Survivor, then jump into the comments and you can leave comments, and we will put them up on the screen and ask those questions. Just to keep it clean, as they say.
100%.
I know it's nighttime. You can get,
and we are on the internet, I guess. So.
Yeah, you can get a little crazy if you want.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody asked us here if we have any booze. You doing any drinking? You doing any drinking?
No, not. Although we do have the Jets Cowboys event this weekend, booze could be flowing at that point at our tailgate.
All right. Well, look, we've been through it. I think we broke it down pretty well. I want to thank Bret LaBelle again. I want to thank our friends at Box Drop Mattress and Sofa. And we will be back again live for our next Survivor postgame show next Wednesday, same time, right about 10 minutes after the show ends. We hop right in and we get it going. And we always do, somewhere in the neighborhood of between a half hour and an hour of postgame. So we'll be back after episode 3. So continue watching Survivor, and hopefully you'll be back to watch us again for another postgame show. Get in the comments and interact with us. Thanks, everybody, for watching tonight. We'll see you again soon. Take care.